of the imagination shall we ever put jobs, commerce, and goods and services above the public safety or the safety of human lives, especially children. From that standpoint, we are asking for several things here today. Number one, we're going to start working diligently to bring more awareness to the community when it comes to crossing of trains or train tracks at crossing grades. We're going to make sure that from a city standpoint, we're doing more. Secondly, we're going to work with the school district to ensure that they're getting more information to make sure that our children are being provided and equipped with the information that they need so they don't put themselves in harm's way. Number two, we're going to have to talk about crossing grades. Between 59 and Waco, there are no crossing grades. And that's a very long distance for any child to have to stand and wait for a train to leave in order for them to get to or from school. And so we're working diligently from the City of Houston standpoint to add dollars to our CIP to put into effect a crossing grade. But we know that that is going to be a lengthy process, and we're asking that the city move right away, put an emergency with this, because we know that this is probably, from what I understand, all the information that I've gathered, the 5th child in 8 years that have been hit by a train. One child is far too many, but certainly 5 children certainly serves as an epidemic that we must solve this problem right away. But thirdly, and most importantly, and what we can do right away, is send a clear message to Union Pacific that trains on the tracks between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8:15 is no good for our schools, certainly is no good for our community. Trains on the tracks between those hours serve as an impediment to children going to school. This is America, and in America, no child should be denied access to education. Trains on tracks serve as an impediment to where children have to make a decision. Do I be late to school, or do I risk my life by crossing over a train or going under a train? And then certainly, secondly, after school between the hours of 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, trains shall not be on the tracks, because children are coming home and they want to get home. It's hot, it's raining, it's cold. Do I have to wait on a train to move before I go home? Unfortunately, they have to make those decisions. And certainly we need to stand and let Union Pacific know that we cannot allow this to continue. We can't allow this kind of practice to continue. And so we're demanding that their standard mode of operation cease and desist until we come to a conclusion. And that conclusion has to be stop the trains between the hours of 7 o'clock to 8:15 and between the hours of 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, so that our children can get to and from school. What I'd like to do right now is to bring up our Congresswoman, then I want to bring up Principal Gatlin, and then I'd like to hear from Barbara Miller and Miss Carolyn Miller, no relation, I think. But then I want to hear from them so that we can then take some questions if you have them. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee.
Councilmember, let me thank you for your leadership and certainly for recognizing that this is a call to the neighborhood. This is a call recognizing a crisis. I chair the Transportation Security Committee of the Homeland Security Committee of the Department of Homeland Security, and we work on transportation issues. This is a security and safety issue that is confronting this neighborhood. One, we recognize that the trains are very much a part of commerce. We work with them every day. But in the instance of these communities, we have 2 questions. How secure are they and how safe are they? Our children represent the cornerstone of safety. How we can provide safety for our seniors, for our children, and for the neighborhood, frankly. And then, of course, the security question comes into play, council member, because if trains are parked on tracks, if there was a natural disaster or a man-made disaster, what would be the opportunity and potential for people to evacuate? And so when we bring this to the attention of our railroads, we're not doing it lightly. Right now, a young man is laid up in a hospital bed fighting for his life. His foot amputated and his life altered. I joined with Councilmember Johnson to ask for these items, and these items along with a number of others. One, as he has said, we can monitor and we can, if you will, regulate the parking of trains or the movement of trains during the hours when children are trying to get to school. We can work with E.O. Smith and this principal in providing educational resources, visits by police officers, visits by the railroads to educate the school and the children about the danger of railroads. We can help you with that as a council member.